remember lunch and dinner at Ziggy's, and Ziggy having that monologue about, what was it about? About how women talk too much to each other while they're playing sports, and that men don't have to talk as much because you see it in their actions. Which was bullshit, but there's something very suave about Ziggy, wouldn't you say, David?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was our wild, wild night. Walking around, I remember David on his knees wondering where our friends were. Our friends, Echo and Bailey and several other girls that we've... Beautiful names. We're going to name our kids Echo. I'm going to name my daughter Echo. David's going to name his daughter Bailey.
I remember playing a word association game with myself that consisted of just me spontaneously yelling out different words that weren't really related in any sort of way.
They were related.
Okay.
To each
but
other.
I'd say it was more stream of consciousness. But the key thing was that every time I did it, it ended in hose. Even if hose didn't relate to the previous word whatsoever. I remember peeing a lot, and that felt really good every time I did it. And so we get to Blockbuster.
And we've got Mike's card with us. We've got this like Blockbuster card that really belongs to Mike's ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. And I've worked so hard memorizing this number that goes with the name of this person, which Mike had told me. And the name which later turned out to be the name of one of our campers at Ridgeville. So I'm glad that I didn't end up having the opportunity to use it. So we're in the store, and
we're just walking around looking for... We wanted to get like an action movie or like something funny, like maybe like really light and goofy, so we could have a fun time with the guys. And we're looking around, and like it's just like it was okay at first, but then we just kind of wandered in silence, and like just were really kind of disgusted by all the movies we were seeing.
Anything that we wanted to watch was on VHS, and we weren't sure if there was a VHS player here. And then, so we're hating this Blockbuster, and there's just nothing, and I hated the way it was laid out.
Yeah, and so I wander off a little bit, and I'm looking around. I'm doing okay. I'm kind of zoned out, and I noticed Andrew was a little irritated and wasn't holding up too well in that Blockbuster. And then I look over, and in a very Royal Tenenbaums-esque way, I see that Andrew's kind of just sitting on the floor of the Blockbuster in the middle of an aisle, like kind of half-heartedly looking at the movies / on the verge of tears, maybe. We both kind of realized.
I gotta go. We gotta get out of here, was what I said. So we try to rent this movie, and he wants my ID. And I am not the person on the card, so I couldn't give him ID. So I said that I didn't have my wallet with me. And he's like, well, you have a balance. You have a fine.
Oh, shit.
And it was David's
It was just like,
10.
it couldn't go any worse than how it was going.
And this guy... Didn't it seem to you like this guy had like eye makeup on or something?
Yeah, and he had like a lot of chest hair coming out.
Yeah, chest hair was visible, and there was just this kind of I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and then I look down and I realize that we're renting Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. And that's
which
what
made
it's come
things
down
even
to.
sadder.
Yeah.
I like that
We
movie.
had to like struggle to be able to rent this movie.
Well, and then the guy was like, after he processed everything and like did everything, he was like, wait, do you guys want it for a week or do you just want it overnight? And he's like, overnight's fine. He goes, like, has to like redo the process, and then like somehow manages to like trick us into paying off this balance.
It was really sneaky. This guy's gotta go.
Go home.
And as I walked
And
out,
it was so hot. It was so hot.
I was just bereft of all energy, hope, belief that tomorrow the sun will rise.
Yeah.
Part of me died back there.
It was like, well, Andrew said after we got out, he's like, I think we need to go back there and like search for my soul somewhere on the Blockbuster floor.
But Charlie's Angels was pretty funny.
It was
I
entertaining.
love that movie.
Bernie Mac was hysterical. Yeah, the freshman class were having square dancing. You know, to like break them in, break the ice, and like, you know, so people can go there and enjoy themselves and make friends. So, you know, me, Mike, and Andrew, we got a little boozed up a little bit.
A little bit. We had a large Miller Lite. It was like a 32
Giant
ouncer.
can of
Yeah,
Miller
it was
Lite.
just a can.
You felt like a small person.
Yeah, I did. A little.
I was having a blast.
I was a little hesitant at first, but as soon as I got in there and started doing the electric slide, I felt like $1.5 million.
No, the electric slide really did it for me. That's what kind of pushed me over the line.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't follow the square dancing. Because I wasn't
we
working.
weren't there, yeah.
And but then once we got into the electric slide, I was like, yeah.
I clapped on the wrong places a lot.
Me too,
That
but it was
sort of turned
okay.
into a thing. I mean, that was the idea. And then later we were just talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And we climbed a tree, and everyone was looking at us.
Yeah,
and I was like,
staring at us.
I love Marquette University.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I said that to this group of people that were looking at me.
I was trying to get people so I could stage dive.
So, we're crossing, it was Milwaukee, I mean, it was Wisconsin Avenue, right? We're crossing over. And there's this group of girls ahead of us. And they're singing, stop in the name of love.
Oh, yeah.
Before you break my heart, think it over. And Mike's like, break it down! Because Mike had just been talking to these other girls, and he just goes up to these random girls. And I never knew if Mike knew people or not. Usually the answer was no. And he'd just be like, so do you guys say rock, paper, scissors, or paper, scissors, rock? And the two girls had different answers, you know. Different strokes for different folks. So Mike's like, break it down, and they're like, all right. And then we start talking to them, we're chatting with them, and they're like, are you freshmen? Are you a freshman? And I'm like, no, we're juniors. But Mike's playing it cool, and he's like thinking, okay, they want us to say that we're freshmen, so we should go with that and pretend to be freshmen. So we went with the freshman thing, and they're like, you guys want some Everclear? We're like, whoa, what, you guys have Everclear? And so Mike took a sip, which he like almost coughed up a lung. I mean, it was gross stuff, Mike. And then I had some. David didn't have any, but he had plenty of beer later. And then we chased it with some other drink that was just, oh man, that stuff was burning in my throat for about 30 minutes afterwards. But it was great. It was, you know, it was like we'd been looking all over for a place to find more alcohol, and suddenly it's like, here's almost pure ethanol, which was funny.
That's why it's like having faith in the universe, you know? We were trying too hard to get alcohol, and once we gave up,
here it was.